All right, welcome everybody. This is our first time here at Tim Medical doing a live stream. We want to do these with some frequency just to be able to answer questions that any of you have on the fly. You can always submit questions to us, right to education@timmedical.com, and we'll always do the best we can to respond to those questions individually. But we also want to make sure that if you have questions, feel like asking, via email, you can put in the comments for this particular video, hey, I've got a question. Just ask any questions that you have about vacuum erection devices, penis pumps, when you're getting started, how to be successful. And we really want you to be successful with these devices. And I think some of the questions that I see come through at the email that I gave you, education@timmedical.com, a lot of the challenges that men face are fairly common, and as are the solutions for those common challenges that men face. So we're just going to go through in this short video, this time live, just what can you expect when you begin with your vacuum erection device? What are some of the things that you might encounter, some of the challenges you might face, and how do you work through those? And the first thing I want to just note here, but as far as this is concerned, anything I say is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm just basing my responses to just 9 years of experience working with these devices, working with men who are using the devices, and just offering some suggestions that we offer formally as a company when you're facing some of these challenges and what to expect with the device. So let's go right into this. The first one is, when you begin, what should you expect to feel? You are inserting your penis into a cylinder. You're drawing through that cylinder a vacuum draw. The first thing you're probably going to experience is discomfort. You're going to say, what is going on? I don't know how I should respond to this. This is uncomfortable for me. Discomfort or being uncomfortable is not uncommon. What you shouldn't feel is pain. If you experience that pain, it's probably due to the fact that you started a little too aggressively with the device. So a lot of the videos that I make here, you'll see me just sort of doing this with the pump, whether it's an automatic pump or a manual pump, just doing this to just create the vacuum seal for illustrative purposes. But that's not as aggressive as you should ever be when you're using your vacuum erection device. So instead of beginning with something like this, instead begin more like this. And I don't know if you can see this here, but just a nice and easy squeeze, and wait, and wait. You're starting to facilitate blood flow into the penis, toward the head of the penis. It just takes time. So that first feeling of discomfort that you're experiencing, a lot of it is probably due to just being a little too aggressive with the pump. Instead of that, just nice and easy, and release. Hold the vacuum seal, and then when you're ready, squeeze again. What you'll probably have to do at some point in this early part of the process is utilize the release button here. What that will do is, if you've started the vacuum, you got a good vacuum draw, but you're feeling that discomfort, instead of breaking the vacuum seal, you just want to back off a little bit, and this button will come into place. So again, nice and easy squeeze. All right, feels okay. Nice and easy squeeze. A little uncomfortable. Rather than break the seal, just press the button, hold the seal, and let it just back off a little bit. So that's the first one. You probably should experience some uncomfortable feelings and sensations in the penis when you get started. That's not uncommon. The second expectation is that you should expect just a gradual improvement in blood flow. Now, a lot of this depends on how you were in terms of erectile function before you got your vacuum erection device. If you were pretty good, you just needed something to help get you closer to fully erect, you probably will have a quicker experience with the device. But if you're starting this, if you've gone through a radical prostatectomy, a lot of those nerves are readjusting, and you may not have had an erection for quite some time, you really have to temper your expectations so that you just realize your ultimate goal here is to get blood flow toward or to the head of the penis. And that's going to take time. So the second expectation is just to expect gradual improvement in blood flow. And so just think about every time you get out your vacuum erection device and you're practicing, you're really trying to just gain a little bit, improve blood flow toward the head of the penis, toward a full erection. And if you get a gain, wash it up, put it away, come back the next day, always seeking to improve gain after gain. All right, so that's the second expectation. You should expect improvement in blood flow. The third expectation is the quality of your erection may not be as strong as it was when you were younger. Or it may be that you have a good firm erection at the base of your penis, but at the head of the penis, it's not quite as firm. So that's one of the expectations you can have, is that it's entirely possible that the erection won't be exactly the same as it was when you were younger. But as you continue to improve that blood flow, you might see that sort of even out. You might feel less sensation. You might be less sensitive in the penis as you were before, but that's to be expected, particularly if you're wearing those tension rings that you put on the base of the penis after you build the erection. If you're sort of getting close to that 30-minute window where you only want to keep that tension ring on for that long, you might not be as sensitive at that point. You might not be able to achieve an orgasm as a result of that, but that's one of the things that you might expect. All right, number 4 on things that you can expect, and this is a common question that I'm seeing come through at education at Tim Medical, is the scrotum gets drawn into the cylinder. And because of YouTube requirements, and I don't want to get flagged as age inappropriate or anything like that, I can't really illustrate this other than to say the most important thing is to recognize that the scrotum is not just the testicles. It's all of that skin that's holding on to those testicles. And that skin, if any part of that is caught up here in the cylinder when you begin, you create that vacuum seal. If you've got any part of that skin, the vacuum's going to win, and it's going to draw that skin inside the cylinder. The testicles might not be drawn in, certainly hope not, but it will feel uncomfortable. That's one of the expectations you can have. The most important thing I can tell you is, if this is my penis and I'm in here, I want to make sure that none of that skin is being drawn into the cylinder. And the way that I ensure that happens is nice water-based lubricant on the entire penis, on the bottom of the cylinder. And when I'm here, I just want to get it as close so that it's just nestled here at the bottom of the penis. I never want that skin to be part of the equation because, like I said, this pump will win that battle and it will be uncomfortable. So as you're establishing the seal, if you get to the point where you've got a good vacuum seal, you're ready to begin employing the pump, but some of that skin is being drawn in, the best thing to do is just break the seal, adjust a little higher so that you're just right under this little crook here where the base of the penis meets the body, but don't get any of that skin drawn in. If that's happening, you can't overcome that. These inserts will help. Those go inside here. I will say one of the expectations you can have is if you don't get this sealed, you're not going to have as solid a vacuum seal as you would have if you didn't have these on here. So if you're here, make sure that this is pressed. You don't want any air getting inside of here. So I'm in here, and you can see that this reduces the diameter on the inside, and that may make it possible so that the scrotal tissue has less room to move into the cylinder. So these are available. They come with the devices. Also, the Scrotal Shield at timmedical.com is another piece of equipment that might help you. Just sort of surrounds this area so that the scrotum is not able to be drawn in. So look for that, the Scrotal Shield. All right. And then the final one, potential side effects that you might experience. You should never be in pain. But as a result of using the device, you see some bruising, some redness, feel some numbness when wearing the tension rings. Those are things that you can reasonably expect. You might experience a cooler temperature on your penis as you wear those tension rings because it's cutting off that blood flow into the penis, that oxygen-rich blood that wants to flow in there. So over time, you may lose some of that temperature. You'll feel that. That's one of the things that you might be able to expect. And then the final expectation that I think I can offer is this is different. This is unique, probably something you haven't done before. So if you're starting with this vacuum erection device or a penis pump, it just takes time to get your mind around what you're doing, but see this as an opportunity to improve blood flow, to build those erections. Men have been worldwide successful with these devices for more than 40 years. Our objective here is to just help you if you're facing some issues at the outset when you're getting started. We don't want you to give up. Just keep trying, because it will probably work. No guarantees, but if you just give it some time, write to us at education@timmedical.com. We'll answer any questions that you send to us. Write in the comments if you have questions. I always try to respond to those, but we want to help you be successful. Now, we'll do this again in a couple of weeks. If you have questions, put them in the comments. Write to us at education@timmedical. We'll try to answer any questions that you send to us. There are no dumb questions. Do the best we can. We won't put your name up, but if you send us an email, I'll just say, hey, somebody had this question, and just try to answer those. Because if you ask the question, just know that probably 1,000 men have the same question, but they won't ask. So just send the questions to us, and we'll do the very best we can. We'll go live again in a couple of weeks. We'll let you know when we go live. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to get that alert. So I encourage you to do that. All right. Thanks for watching.